Manson Asantehemaa, once a musician and a rapper. She is making her way to the Menchia Palace, while the warlocks also continue to do all that they have to do today. And so this is it here at the Menchia Palace. Culture being displayed beautifully. The Ashanti culture being displayed beautifully today. All of us are waiting the Asantehemaa to sit in state, and then we have the burial service begin. We have hundreds of residents in the Ashanti region, diplomats, government officials, political party supporters or political party people, all of them coming in to mourn with the Asantehemaa today. And so this is the first day of the burial service, and this is what we have happening live at the Menchia Palace. Over to you.
While we mourn with the Asantehemaa and the entire Asante man, we can't help but admire the beauty of the Ashanti culture.
This is Jabrim, where I'm currently standing, and this is the burial service of the late Asantehemaa, Nana Konadu Yiadom III. Today it is a display of beautiful culture here at the Jabrim grounds at the Menchia Palace, at the forecourt of the palace itself, where hundreds of people, residents, chief, traditional rulers, government officials, some of them have gathered over here, all of them witnessing the burial service of the late Asantehemaa Nana Konadu Yiadom. Behind me is where we have the main podium, and then over there we have where the Asantehemaa is going to sit. He is going to sit in state today. The Asante is already walking on the streets of the Menchia area, or the Menchia community. He moved out of his official home and then went to the street. Now officially what has to be done is that on such occasions the Asante is set to be coming out of the forest signifying that, or signaling that he is in grief and he is in a state of mourning. And so while this palace is not a forest, he has to walk through the street to sort of signal that he is coming out of some way, somehow, a place crowded. And that is why today we have the Asantehemaa walking through the streets of Menchia. So that is being done alongside hundreds of chiefs who are also joining him over there. But then we have divisional chiefs, some of them who are already seated. We have some paramount chiefs who are already seated here at Jabrim, waiting for the funeral to officially commence. We have today happens to be the day for the church service to happen officially, and then right after the church service tomorrow is also another day, a long day, and then on Thursday we have climaxing it with a huge burial. We are climaxing it with a burial of the Asantehemaa Nana Konadu Yiadom III at Bremen, when that Tuesday is said to be a day of silence in the Ashanti region, and a day where all movement would cease and business would not be the same as usual. And so that Thursday is going to be the climax of the Asantehemaa's burial service. But then from today, which is the day that burial begins, we are witnessing the colorful display of culture. We have umbrellas in its shape and in its form. You can see chiefs coming in, the huge umbrellas all over the place, small umbrellas coming in. We have queen mothers who themselves are an embodiment of who the Asantehemaa was then time living as the queen mother of the kingdom. And now every queen mother is coming in with grief, wearing or clad in red and black. The Asantehemaa, Nana Asantewa, came in an attire, in a war attire, in a war regalia, which shows that she's also in a state of mourning. And you can see another woman here. Her dressing signals the same dressing or attire that many of the Queen Mothers are having today. She is in black and she is also in a state of mourning. This is how all the Queen Mothers, most of them, look like today at the Menchia Palace. It will be difficult for us to get anybody to engage with because everybody at this point is watching, is listening, and is waiting for the Asantehemaa to sit in state for the burial to officially commence. Up until today, to Thursday, we are going to have dignitaries, including the President John Dramani Mahama, coming into the palace to mourn with the Asantehemaa. We're expecting former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former President John Agyekum Kufuor, and other individuals, political individuals, to join in and mourn with the Asantehemaa. But then, let me say that former President John Agyekum Kufuor is already at the Menchia Palace because he is a royal himself. And so when the body of the Asantehemaa was brought to the palace yesterday, the former President John Agyekum Kufuor was here at dawn with the Asantehemaa as they watch on for everything to fall in place. Now let's go here and see what is happening. The cultural display is beautiful because you can see that the Abrafoɔ are bringing in or leading the chiefs into the palace, and that is the first thing you see when a chief is making his way into Jabrim, where he is going to have or take his seat. The Abrafoɔ are clad in black, some of them with clay all over their body. You can't even see their face, and this is one of them, a tall man you see here with his face painted black. He is an Abrafoɔ and he's leading the chiefs to make their way into the palace, and they're also part of the security apparatus at the palace, making sure that everything is in place and in order. Let me also say that the RegSec have put in place huge security measures to make sure that everything is in order. You can't misbehave over here. And then the people you see here are the war leaders. They are believed to have led the olden day war that the Ashantis used to fight. And so in this moment where we are mourning the Asantehemaa, we are also describing it as a state of war going. That is why they all have to dress like this, and that is what you see. Clay all over them, painted their faces with black, and some of them even painted their faces with the clay sand. And that is the cultural display all over this place at the Menchia Palace today. And some of the paramounties continue to come in, some of them in white, and then the white you see is different from the regular black here. The white we believe are to be the gods, the smaller gods, and so they come in with whites leading them. Some include the Tepaman, and then other chiefs, just a few of them, who put on white when coming. But this one you see here is the Kumeuman Hine, the Berima himself coming in here to mourn with the Asantehemaa. Over 60 paramountcies are going to join Otumfuo Osei Tutu II today at the Menchia Palace. While they continue to come in, let's put on record that the Asantehemaa will not sit down until all of the paramountcies and chiefs are seated. That is culture, that is custom, because he's the last person to sit in state. And so every chief at this point would have to hurriedly get into Jabrim to sit down. And that is why even when the Asantehemaa moved out of his residence, he did not go into Jabrim to sit down, but rather decided to go to war, go to the forest, or fair to say, walk on the streets of Menchia, so that all of these chiefs can officially take their seat, and then he would walk in for the burial service to commence. The Asantehemaa, I must say, is seated in state. She's seated in she's lying in state, I beg your pardon. Her body is at the Asantehemaa's official yard, which is just some few meters away from the Asantehemaa's official yard. And so that is where her body is being laid. You can see the Manso and Quanta Manhema also coming in.